Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. We're going to have a little ferro rod discussion today. I don't really have any that perform better than others, I don't think. But they're all different, and that's kind of what I want to touch on. And in my opinion, what I think is the most important part of figuring out which ferro rod is right for you. And that's going to come down to the composition of the rod, and it being how hard or how soft it is, and finding one that you like to use. I like about a medium rod, I guess. If it's super hard, it's hard to get sparks off of. And if it's super soft, you just use it up really fast. It makes really awesome sparks, but it just goes away really fast. And I like kind of the best of both worlds, I guess. But we'll break it down into just different ferro rods. So this is my EDC ferro rod right here. It's a firesteel.com. I think it's a 3 by 1/2 inch. Let me get the old tape measure here. Let me see. Yes, it's a 3 by 1/2 inch, and I've used this thing a trillion times. Somebody needed my D20 at Georgia Bushcraft, so I gave them the original dice, the first one that I ever made. I gave it to them, and I threw me another one on there. But this is my day-to-day guy right here. This is the waxed hemp wick. That's what it looks like if you don't leave it covered up. It gets super shiny, like matted. But this is the perfect size for me. Like, I think in a kit, this is a good size right here. And I've played around with this also, and they come in different sizes: 5/16, 3/8, 1/2 inch. I think 1/2 inch is a good diameter for me, I think. But this is a 5. This is a Bayite, and it's just a band off Amazon. I don't know anything fancy about them, but I like the composition of their rods. So that is a 1/2 inch by 5 that I just put a Wazoo ceramic striker on and a high-vis lanyard. But also I've taken the 5-inch rods, and I think I did a 6-inch one time too, but I cut it down. So I just took and cut it with a cutoff wheel on a grinder, and then just drilled a hole in the opposite end of it. But for a survival kit, I could make do with this guy right here. There's a ton of sparks in this thing, and in the beginning, the longer one is better, just so you can get more contact. Is going to give you more sparks. But once you get efficient with the scraping, you can pick the size that you like out of those things. But the difference in a 1/2 inch and a 3/8, this is 3/8 and this is 1/2 inch. And then I think I have a 5/16 out here also. 5/16 is smaller than the 3/8. And these things come in so many different flavors nowadays. If I'm buying me one, I get me a 1/2 inch most of the time. This is the one that I normally buy, unless I've got one that I want to put a handle on. So if I got one that I want to put a handle on, I buy these 3/8. This is the Bayite 3/8, and it's the ones that I buy the most. They're like $8, but I like the composition of them. So they may not be for you, but I like them. And what I'll do with these a lot of times is I put a handle on there. So this is just Axis Deer drilled and glued and pinned with a leather wrap on it soaked in glue. And that's probably, especially on one of my knives, or knife of the month, this is going to be the style that's around most of the time. The rooster is literally scratching stuff over here in my area. Dude, I'm going to punch your head if you come over here messing with me. Don't mess with me. Look, you're being rude. Get away. Get away. Sorry about that, guys. This is also the same size that I got in our beginners item box that we'll make a custom handle for. But like I said, this is the same rod. Just I've wrapped these in Gorilla Tape and put lanyards on them or whatever. And these riding some of my smaller sheath knives, I'll put one of these guys in it too, because most, especially JREs, are set up for 3/8 ferro rods like this. This is my LT Rat Bush Baby. It's my favorite knife in the whole wide world. But it has, the JREs have this style ferro rod loop, and it's just a 3/8. This is a 3/8 that was made by LT Rat, and I just modified the head. I just made it smaller so it would roughly be about the same width as my my sheath, so it wasn't too big in there. Just modified. But this is how your 3/8 is going to be carried on most JREs. I have, so I'm going to keep these separate. 3/8 over here. I have taken this guy. This is a Midwest Bushcraft Special. So it's a 1/2 inch drilled and pinned in hardwood handle with a fun glow nut lanyard on it. But I've taken wet formed the JRE sheaths out to 1/2 inch. And this is normally the one that I end up putting in it. You can see where it's got some corrosion in the spot where it's on the sheath a lot of times when I use it. But it's a good quality ferro rod, and it being as long as it is, it's easy to get down in there and works well for getting these guys bigger. So you can get them big honking dudes, like that guy's a good example of a large one, down to like this ferro rod toggle that's right here, that's basically this big, really small. And you can get even smaller than that. This is a ferro rod on the Firestorm buckle, really tiny, but it don't take much. The prep is what's important, I think. But there's so many different flavors. This one's from Wazoo right here, and this one is just an inexpensive one that I had got off Amazon. That I got some stuff I'm going to do with it. I want to see how well she'll hold up. I got another one that I'm going to put on my keychain and carry in my pocket, just to see the kind of corrosion resistance it has versus the ones that I normally use from Wazoo. They're, in my opinion, they don't corrode near as bad as some of this other stuff, especially around your neck. Because in my job, I sweat a bunch when I'm working in the mill and out here working on fences and doing this and that, and I dribble stuff on there, like they may get chili on them, like, or cereal. You never know, but I want to see how they hold up versus the Wazoo ones. In sizes, on top of sizes too, they have some that have lots of gizmos in them, so to speak. So this was a multi-tool that I saw Bushcraft in baseball, or baseball in Bushcraft, I think. I can't remember which one it is, but I saw he was making some of these on Instagram, and I was like, dang, I want to try to make one of those. So it's a ferro rod on, it has a saw and a knife blade on a modified piece of multi-tool. So it's a good way of having a little fancy. This is the same one that I had in this month. Well, it's not the exact same one, but it's the same kind that I have in my pocket pouch on the knife of the month, just in silver. So you can get, this one's pretty fancy DIY. Then you can get some stock or OEM, whatever you would like to call it, pretty sweet options. So one of the most well-known one is Exotac. Great ferro rod. It's all like interchangeable, so there's a ton of machine work that goes into these things. The handle keeps some Gorilla Tape on there, and I can't remember what I got in the top. Just some fire plugs, just a few fire plugs in the top. Like that's handy. Like if you're gonna have something where you can have a little extra, this is cool. It's kind of the way that I look at my neck knives. Like if I'm gonna carry a knife a little bit extra, isn't gonna hurt anything in my opinion. Another pretty fun one is one from Outdoor Element. So it works the same way. It's got some tinder there in the top. It has a ceramic scraper that's built in behind the clip there, and in the top is a whistle, which I think is pretty sweet. It's pretty fun, especially for looking to get multiple uses out of one item. I think that's awesome. So some being better than the others, they're all different. It's the same way I look at knives. Like unless you have two identical knives and the only thing that's different is the grind, you can't really say which one performs better than the other. Because I mean, if they're different, they're different. And that's the way I look at it anyway. I like, if I'm buying some that have a possibility that I may destroy them accidentally, I buy those Bayots. They're pretty cheap. I think this one may be $10, I think. And you can cut them. Like I said, I've cut them and made a bunch of different ones. These are also, like I said, those Bayot. We got some of those coming up in the content when we start modifying the stuff for stop it, rooster. Modifying the stuff for the Bushcraft gear. So we'll be doing some stuff to them. Put one on the handle. But anyway, guys, I wanted to share this. This is something that I had talked about a little while ago. And it come up again at Georgia Bushcraft. So I said I wanted to take a minute and talk about this stuff while I had a little free time today. But yeah, there's so many different flavors, guys. It's best just to scratch around and find one that works best for you when you scrape it, and then just go from there. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a great week. I appreciate the support. You can check out my Instagram at Bushcraft Kelso. Check the website is bushcraftkelso.com. I got things and stuff and gizmos, and I keep some of these guys on there sometimes, as well as some of the DIY sizes to play with. Yeah, thanks, guys. I got some more stuff coming, so stand by. Have a good day.